live. We're not even gonna sit 2 minutes behind. Just double check on everything. Nothing looks out of place. No summoners are burned.
And Zika's decided fleet footwork ain't it. I'm going back to the grass.
Go back to the grass. I mean, look, right? I'll say it like this. Personally, I feel like if you're laning well anyway, why not just take the extra damage from grass and the permanent health stat, right? If you think about it like this, for every, I think, third stack now, you're getting, you know, 25% of the value out of that rune compared to what it used to do before in terms of damage. It's just the heal that used to definitely feel good. Tilt trades a little more in your favor. But frankly, again, Cassante, in my mind, he actually values the flat HP almost the most, right? You're shedding all of the resists pretty much when you press your R key. Take the permanent health. That's it. I've even, not to me, you know, casters talking about solo queue, me, old meme. But even like in the sort of unfavorable matchups, this is very clever pathing from Tarzan if he goes for it. And that's an even smarter ward from anyone's legend as well. Going something like Anatomus for this flat stack on the HP. Good chain, scout. Not enough damage. Honestly helps you win those 1v1s. So, yeah. Grasp, anyway, point is, permanent health stacking, it's good. Do it. That's it. Rant over. Grasp is good. Machine. Oh god, am I alone? Alright, well, I think we've lost the machine.
I'm muted because I
you muted! Oh my god, you had me! Alright.
I'm so sorry, I muted. I had to sneeze.
Okay.
I'm terrible with that. I'm awful.
You got me good. You got me good.
But yeah, no, it's apologies for scaring you. I'll never leave your side again, Janata. But yeah, like again, it's kind of coming down to how these teams want to interact with the, you know, the different styles and different ways they want to try and like build this one right now. As you can see, sort of, that's so upsetting. He went up so many times, but it just wasn't able to make it happen. But again, like grass just feels like it's the better one for Zika, just to be able to, as you say, constantly stack if you're going to go into late game scaling and kind of looking for those. The big thing I wanted to say as well is that like the Renekton seems to be just one of these LPL that no matter where the world probably ranks him, he is just always such a powerful pick because it gives you the early laning phase. Because it gives, even if you don't come out with a kill or not, it gives you the opportunity to, and that can be huge for AL here if they can really work out with Xiaohao and ZDZ to figure out how this combination can work.
Yeah, exactly. LS hates him. Find out your free hack to winning the top side of the map, usually. Yeah, I don't know. It is just an LPL special, isn't it? Even in metas where sometimes it feels like he can be a little bit redundant, shall we say. Here will always find a way to make him work. Here, we'll give up this dragon on the bottom side of the map just off the reset timers, so really well played there by LNG. As they return back. And we'll see whether or not the dragon stacking will go in their favor this time, as NG comically dashes forward and breaks everyone's ankles, and then comes back in for the chain.
I mean, he might be able to find Scout here as well. They are looking to try and see if they can get an engage, flash in, but the hero grand entrance, I should say, not going to be able to get anything there as Xiaohao does flash away. Sword Art was there, but I will say Renata has a lot less impact of joining in on a fight like that than a Rakan. In the bot lane, we just see the AD carries happy to juke it out underneath their own turret.
Exactly. Really nice exchange there in the mid lane. Xiaohao, no flash now. We'll see how that impacts his ability to make some team fight plays happen, and specifically, of course, that Herald in a couple minutes' time. Punk, especially with Xayah in the game, you have to recall. Obviously, over the years, they've really stripped away the power of the duo innately. But specifically, what they have kept is that dash range. Dash range quite long. So as long as LP is kind of playing almost like an anchor, I suppose, for Han, well, that flashy will always be alright.
As long as he's there, he should be totally fine, but we'll see if that Rakan thing, and again, this is something that's coming back into meta a little bit. We're seeing the Rakan, again, specifically in the LPL, kind of having a bit more priority, a bit more of a flash in the pan to say, look, this is something that we feel can do a lot more. And I will say, having hard engage supports back, even if it is only in my own region, it just feels good, man. I love hard engaged supports because it means we get team fights and actual. You know, I'm sick of the Heimerdingers and the Ashes. Get them out of my league.
Yeah, agree. I feel like we are past that. Mostly the LPL, like, you know, LPL has always been known for Norless, Leona, Blitzcrank on occasion.
When it tickles their fancy.
If it tickles their fancy, as it were. Thresh, of course, as well. Can't forget the OG king of Do It All. Is this red buff going to get stolen? Or is Xiaohao just going to die?
Xiaohao might die because he's got nowhere to go and he's got first blood on his head. So there's going to be transfer of buffs and a nice kill there for Tarzan linking up with Scout.
Yeah, really, really well played. But like you say, going back to it, outside of LNG just making a really smart map movement with the information at hand, I feel like kind of going back to these engaged supports, generally pretty good. And of course the death of the AD carry in the support role playing a massive part in that. And specifically I think with Rakan as well, kind of being tutored, as it were, by Orcs, the support master himself. Rakan really suffers into like most Enchanter matchups, right? You get really poked out. It's more about those later game team fights, and I think with, you know, a lot of engage options, he does fine. Like, he just kind of cruises by a lot of those lanes. I think now that the ADs are formally removed from the support role, Rakan specifically can actually get to play the game in the early stages, because that was what he got punished by the most. Because Rakan is kind of a weird middle ground between, could be an Enchanter with the heal and the shield, but also, of course, the engage option is just so powerful that he kind of wants to be a bit of a jack of all trades, but isn't really a master of any, per se. Of course, the engages are game-changing, nonetheless. Yeah, hopefully we'll continue to see a little bit more Rakan in the meta as we shift here in the LPL back to those engaged supports.
And I will say, in terms of international success, I think the LPL definitely does better when it's an engaged support meta.
Oh, yes.
Definitely feel like we have a little bit more to give. I honestly think that we have some of the best supports in the world. Like, obviously, Keria exists. Not going to take away from that man, that absolute monster that is in the T1 support role. But definitely think of quite a few names here in the LPL that I'd be like, yeah, definitely some of the best, if not, you know, top 2, top 3 in the world. But now LNG looking to see if they can maybe go for a little bit of an engage up on this top side. As ZDZ going to get engaged upon as the all-out comes in. He gets knocked back a little bit. I actually think that was a little bit early because kind of kept him away from the buy.
I don't even think it was early. I think he just... I don't like to criticize players flatly, but that was just a bit awkward. He had Q3, he was standing in front of him, knocking back towards the brush. It's just a bit strange. He opts for the all-out. I guess he's just looking for that angle, but I feel like there's not necessarily a need in that particular instance when ZDZ is on your face. Maybe anticipating that he'll dodge out of the way. Hard to make the call. Very hard to make the call, but the execution falls flat. And unfortunately, the side of LNG, they won't find that pick. And now we've actually got a lane top situation where we're going to see Betty take a whole bunch of plays. He's got red and white. Karkaram so good at trading the tower. Also still has the red gun. Severum. Pretty sure it's Severum. Or the Q as well. So while DPS is going to come through, Herald will also aid in getting this tower. So really, really clean lane swap here by Anyone's Legend to effectively secure a full tower worth of gold here onto the affiliates.
I mean, massive as well, considering you looked at where the item parity were. It wasn't really there, to be honest with you. But second dragon does go over. I hope to LNG should be able to secure it with a smite. There it is. But maybe thinking if ZDZ could get there on time, it could have been a bit of shenanigans. But yeah, again, like keeping the gold in their favor. Yes, you're 2 dragons down, but you're definitely going to be equal on the items when the next dragon spawns in 4 minutes and 30 seconds. So keep an eye out of where exactly everything's going to be going here now for LNG. They need to be a little bit more proactive. And they have been a better setup so far, but definitely not looking as crispy clean as I would probably hoped or wished for them to be. And with Sword Art level 6, you now have access to that hostile takeover. This is going to be difficult to fight now at the next few engages.
Absolutely will be. I think as the game progresses as well, just gotta be careful of chokes, right? That's all it really is. I feel like LNG though, comp to comp, kind of prefer theirs a little bit more. It does a little bit of everything. Go back and move forward. I think into the champions, Anyone's Legend are sporting when you're not getting a lead, which you need to force engages off like this.
I mean, the feathers fly. They're gonna let them come back a little bit as well. Ignite goes down. Don't burn any summoners, but you do burn 2 big ultimates from the Lovers duo in the bot lane. As he's sitting on a ward. Sword Art might feel confident to go for this, and he does. Hong has to flash. And that's now the summoner's burn that they were looking for.
Well played, Finals Legend. Just using that information of the ward as now Sword Art's going to have to use his flash. An eye for an eye.
Gentleman's agreement.
Yeah. A handshake, if I may.
Oh, like what you did there.
Yeah, thank you.
You know, you know.
Yeah. I'll be here all...
I hope your hero split, to be honest. I mean, to be totally honest, I'm enjoying having you here, but if you have to leave, you have to leave. I'm not going to stop you. But, yeah, we'll come and see where this next kind of engage is going to be, because it's 2 minutes till the Rift Herald spawns. It's 3 minutes until the Dragon spawns, so... Where do you want to see LNG kind of use this priority? Because again, they're not ahead, but they're not behind. They have got the 2 dragons, and it is a hex stall, so definitely very powerful. What do LNG need to be doing here to try and, you know, continue control around this objective?
I think just forcing plays around the strong members, right? I think right now, Tarzan Scout's on a power spike. Seems like Scout is going to actually try and supplement this play here. Oh, man. ZDZ is just dead. That's rough. But really well executed by LNG, and I mean, it's kind of why I just said I want to see the strong members be used in forced plays, and in this case, Scout finds himself the opportunity to teleport behind Zika, and they find ZDZ, so really, really well played. Just a little bit more of that as well. Tarzan just getting in position to try and find a member out of position. I think the whole thing about Anyone's Legends composition is that realistically it's more about pick, it's less about team fighting. You've got to find flank angles. There's a lot of splash damage from the Infernum, and if they can't find that, then they're going to kind of fall flat on their face. Now Scout should be okay.
Doesn't have flash. Yeah, shouldn't. You meant to finish off your name. You gotta enunciate your words here, Jamada. I knew what you meant.
It's just he didn't see the teleport for a while there. He wasn't moving.
Yeah.
So I think, unfortunately for him, he must have just had his screen, you know, more with
elsewhere.
Yeah, more Syndra, like kind of on the right-hand side, or just not looking at the time. Just
it
doesn't
happens.
Quite catch. It does happen. Yeah, it does happen. And Anyone's Legend find their pick.
It happens to the best of us, and again, we can see AL kind of getting themselves back into positions where they are going to be making it a little bit more awkward for LNG. Not quite got the first item here onto Pinzi, but it is also the new LeBlanc, which we talked about earlier, and it looks like LNG should be able to pick up their Rift Herald as well. So, in themselves I think it was 3 objectives in a row, and a minute till Dragon spawns. They should be able to use that in mid lane to gain themselves some priority, but for the moment, you would imagine they're going to try and set up around this Dragon. They would love to get that first item completed here onto Pinzi, get that Luden's Tempest up and available, but can't always have what we want, Jamada. And that Dragon is spawning very soon.
Just to derail, as you made pretty much all the relevant points, isn't it weird that it's now called Luden's Tempest and not Echo? Like, it just... I don't know, man.
Yeah, it's like Leandri's Torment to Leandri's Anguish.
Anguish, yeah.
Yeah. They needed to be a bit more edgy with it.
Yeah, it just doesn't sit right with me. No.
Yeah, I think Luden's Echo just sounded... I don't know, it just sounded better. Yeah. I agree with that. I hardly agree with that.
Maybe they a lot of damage of health onto Hong. That's big because again, remember, he's got to go in, but he gets bursted that quickly. He's not going to survive very long. He does manage to make his way to the back line of Anyone's Legend. So the Herald does charge, but it doesn't buy them first move into the river, and that's crucial because now you can see ZDZ setting up for a little bit of flank, trying to provide a little bit of information for himself. And this is exactly what they need to do. They need to kind of like, you know, pincer, cut off a member, and oh, he's going to find Hong. Or Hong is going to find him, rather. ZDZ steps out the bush, unlucky timing. But now they know he's there. Dragon's being started by AL. I mean, in LP, the rest of LNG, I feel like can just commit forward with not too much fear.
Xiaohao moving himself away from this bit. Hong is still on a bit of a flank. They will get Pinzi down to about 100 HP. There's the hostile takeover, and the Dragon is confirmed by LNG. ZDZ on the backside, trying to do something, but it's on to Zik. He's not really able to get much done there. Those get popped, doesn't get the knockback. The Gravitum comes in. There's the quickness to try and delay anything from happening, but Pinzi gonna TP back with not ideal amount of HP. And LNG will say thank you very much. We get the Dragon Soul point, and we get ourselves a kill.
Yeah, bit of a weird one. Zika wants it.
Oh, he really wants it. ZDZ gets exhaust from his support to try and help him out. The W, the bailout. You ain't going to be bailed out from nothing right now. There's going to be the kill confirmed. As you can see, Sword Art wants the wall. He wants to try and make it happen, but Zika is going 1v3.
Oh,
Zika has died, and Zika's out. No way does he able to get that happen right there. And in the blink of an eye, 4 kills over to LNG. Dragon Soul point. This game is over and done with.
Just nasty, isn't it? This game spiraling out of control now. 3,500 almost. LNG in the lead. And I mean, anyone's legend, I just don't think they can do much about this now. I think compositionally, they're a bit done unless LNG makes some major missteps. The scout just removes Pinzi from the equation. So that does a lot. So does ZDZ on the backline, threatening LP, forces him into Feather Storm, but you can see from the get-go what the intention is here. Charm can't find any members more as the teleport gets caught out. Flash forward from Tarzan to get in range for the cease and desist. And like I said, teleported with no HP. Even if he was full HP, he would have just died. But a bit of a strange one as Zika still wanted to fight, wanted to move forward. And he gets his fight. Just on the top side, focused on the Dragon Pit. You can see a bit of a 3v3 broke out. But speaking of more fights.
Yeah, we got more fights. The feathers are getting laid down on the floor. The bailouts don't gonna do nothing for you. ZDZ trying to see if he can land on the Hung or LP, but he's being kited out. He's being taken out. 9-1 in kills, 5,000 gold lead. Dragon Soul point on the horizon, and LNG, they can't even go for Baron. The funny thing is that 3 kills, they would normally go for Baron. It's not spawned yet.
Yeah, not spawned yet. It's just that early on in the game. It's a little bit obnoxious. Bay just wants his red buff. And he's going to blow Zika a kiss as he donates it over. Very, very
Thanks for leash. Yeah,
it's
good sportsmanship.
Yeah, not too bad. As came out of the picture, or the replay rather, picture straight. And this is how it started. Yeah, that makes sense. Scout out of the weak by Scout. Scout still eats a whole bunch of damage from Pingy, so I think if there is a takeaway, it's not like the damage isn't available from the side of AL or any of their members individually, as even ZDZ buys a whole bunch of time. The issue is, anyone's legend just aren't, or just haven't been able to, rather, find their preferred method of team fighting so far. Is the crucial thing. Whereas anyone's legend, or rather LNG, are just very happy to do whatever they want, right? Peel back by the Zaya, by the Scout of the Week, or engage with Vi, right? And with the Rakan. It's a very versatile draft. Whereas anyone's legend is very one-track mind, and it's very much creating a bit of a divide between the two teams.
Yeah, very much so. And this is the LNG we expected to come in for game number 1. It just feels like they finally got themselves what they wanted and how they wanted to kind of continue it. But it is a, you know, better late than never, in my opinion, with these things. But it is going to be a pretty hard setup now for AL to get themselves back into the game. You're 6,000 gold down. You only got, you know, a couple of different avenues. And with the Banshees being picked up for Scout, I love the second pickup here from him. He knows the only real threat, like you mentioned, is Pinzi on this LeBlanc. Not going to have the same level of threat now, knowing that the LeBlanc is just going to be missing a lot of its combination. But now AL, they're going for desperation. They're going for a 21-minute Baron. Yeah, it's never going to work. You have to back away. They thought maybe LNG weren't going to be ready. With 40 seconds till the Dragon spawns, they knew that would have been maybe a potential possibility. But they're in. But, oh my god, I thought it was going to be a 4-man knockback. Oh my lord, I thought it was going to be there and done. But no, not quite yet. But 30 seconds till the Dragon spawns means that LNG know they've got control of the Baron and they can get themselves back over to the Dragon Pit.
Yeah, exactly. For anyone's legend, if they could sneak away that Baron, then maybe this Dragon fight looks a little more favorable. But now they're being caught out on the bottom side. ZDZ, he's gone.
He
Might
is gone.
Xiao Hao.
Xiao Hao should be able to keep himself alive and well, but Sword Art now is the next target. Not going to go for him. Doesn't have flash, but they do not need him to. They know there is a very good early game buff to be picking up here at 23 minutes, even less. They're going to be picking up that Dragon Soul, and this is the whole thing. When you get an early composition, you get the early kills. It's just so oppressive to try and deal with this. And now with a Hex Soul to contend with as well, like how do you even try and approach fights?
Exactly. I mean, again, I feel like the answer is and has been just you know, trying to find picks. When you've got a composition like this, LeBlanc, RuPaul, if you don't have, you know, fundamentally a strong front to back around it, you know, you've got the Aphelios, that's one piece. Renekton is a piece, but not necessarily the piece you want in that equation. You just have to defer to finding picks or being granted picks. I would say like this, but Tarzan is so damn tanky.
Yep.
And he's just going to walk out of it. So it just feels a little bit too hard now. The Hexol, additional AoE slow, all of that good jazz. It just feels like the gap may be a little bit too big. And again, they're just going to have to try and prey on any mistakes LNG make, but so far they've been near flawless.
I mean, 1 tower, 1 kill, a Rift Herald, I think. Not exactly a lot going for AL as they continually see their base being taken out here, and with the fact that you now have 3 items on the scout, 4, 1, and 6, picked up the Void Staff at 23 minutes. So really just, it's so difficult to see anybody, even ZDZ walking up on it.
It's a
shout out decoy. It's like watching yourself die. It's like, oh my god, that could have been me.
Exactly. It's so scary. And LNG is taking the time of it because they can. You know, they're realistically going to outscale, minus Betty pulling up some multiple of years shenanigans. As I think LNG, they're a bit bored and they want to force. I don't blame them.
I don't blame them at all. Flash for flash, but ZDZ now has nowhere to go. Feathers fly. A bit of healing as he does end up being taken down at the end of it all. Yeah, quite a few hundred years, but that's a very good hostile takeover. Double kill comes in now for LPs. You look for a little bit more. Triple kill for him. 4 kills to the good in this. LNG want this to be 25 minutes and nothing more. And they are going to push into this base. Pinsy will have a little bit of damage. Maybe they go for the Baron, but honestly, they can just end the game now.
Yeah, minion wave. Pinji's not going to be able to end the game past champions. We will go to a game 3. I guess you had that on your bingo card.
I did. Getting on. I'm almost got a full house, man. Like,
yeah, true. I mean, look, much more disciplined. Look, what we come to expect from LNG, and that's what I usually have to say positively about them. They definitely did it this game, dispatching anyone's legend. A little bit of honor restored after the previous game. We'll see if they can close out for anyone's legend. Back to the drawing board. See if you can, you know, bring back some of that game 1 magic. Try and throw LNG off kilter a little bit. See if you can really shut down one of these core carry members here of LNG.
yeah, I mean, it just felt like I like that you mentioned it very early on, the kind of like setup of that. Hi, Jamal.